All right, welcome to the Life of a Marketer podcast with Yasmin. Yasmin, I have no idea how to pronounce your last name. I should have asked that before we jumped on the podcast. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Tell us about who you are and what it is that you do.
Sure, definitely. And Jared, thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I'm super excited to chat today. So, my name is Yasmine Khosrowshahi. I am Persian originally. I grew up in Washington, D.C., and I studied marketing and communication throughout my education and entrepreneurship as well. So, when I got out of college, I initially had a job offer that ended up falling through because the company was going through some restructuring. So, I ended up never working there, and my offer was rescinded. And from there, I took my passions of entrepreneurship and marketing, combined them together to create an amazing digital marketing agency that is women-led. We have been around for a little over 4 years now, and we are industry agnostic. We focus very much on omni-channel marketing. We believe very heavily that you can't just hit your audience from one angle. You really need to focus on all of the channels that they might be checking, because now there's a lot of validity that's going to go into people checking your business before they come to you. Research is now showing that it takes about 7 touch points of someone seeing your business before they choose to engage. So what we really focus on with every brand that we bring on is based on the goals and the business that it is. We really build you custom strategies fit for your business, whether that's to get conversions, brand awareness, enhance your content, and so much more. And our services are, again, omni-channel. So we have the marketing strategy. We do all your social media management. We cover all of your platforms from start to finish on both an organic level and also on a paid ad level. We will create campaigns and paid strategy plans in order to achieve the goals that you're looking for. Additionally, we do blog writing, which really supports the SEO because there are still some people that just want to read. So we make sure to support that audience as well. And then, of course, we do website design and development because we believe your website is the last hub before someone chooses to engage with you and your business. So all of those combine together to support any kind of business based on their goals and what they're looking to do to grow their business.
Awesome, awesome. Just a few things that you do there. Very impressive. Awesome. All right, especially at 26 that you're able to offer all those services. That's very impressive. So what's the best thing about being in the marketing industry for you?
I'm someone that can get bored really easily. So I love that it's always constantly changing. And while that could also come off as a bit of a headache where you nail a strategy and then right after that, it's no longer a successful strategy. What's really cool about the marketing industry is that it's always exciting. Every day is different. You're always learning something new. And, with every different industry we work with, we're able to touch on a different facet of our skills and creativity. And so I love that it's always constantly evolving and ever changing. And I get to constantly be applying myself intellectually and creatively to the industry.
Awesome. So what sort of advice do you offer to those that are in the marketing industry right now?
Definitely. So like I said, it's a very fast-paced growing industry, and there's constantly new strategies and new methods and new platforms that come out. So one thing that I would say is don't stick very firmly to one strategy. You should always constantly be testing what you're doing, checking your analytics, and if something isn't working, just because it's been your strategy for so long, that does not mean you should stick with it. You really should be looking at what your audience wants. You should be doing constant research. You should be constantly testing new strategies, and that's really what's going to prove your success, not sticking with just one thing that might have worked a year ago, but isn't necessarily working now. And also be patient because social takes a lot of time. It's a very saturated place right now. It's not that easy to, go viral that quickly. But it's the long game that you're playing, and it is worth it if you play it well.
Speaking about that, you mentioned to me before this podcast that you have kind of gone viral on TikTok. You have had a post that did 2 million views, and also on Twitter, you've got a lot of traction. So, what have kind of been some of the keys of managing to get something that goes viral or to get a lot of views, a large viewership, people following you? What has been key for you?
Yeah, definitely. Being niche specific. Sorry, can I say that again? I'm just going to redo that part because I was stumbling over my words, but being niche specific is extremely key. You know, I built an agency that was industry agnostic because I can't just sit with one industry. I want to be able to dip my toes into all of them. And for a long time, people kept telling me, be niche specific in some way. And I found through my services or through my personal branding a way to be niche specific. So specifically on Twitter, I focus very heavily on Instagram and the real estate industry. And that's where I really hone in on my audience there. And then on TikTok, on my personal branding, it actually has absolutely nothing to do with marketing. I'm Persian. So a couple months ago, I started just posting some trending videos with my family about being Persian and some funny questions. That really took off. I really grew a Persian audience. And since then, I'm finding ways to bring in trends or videos and really touch on that Persian audience. And ironically, even though it has nothing to do with marketing, that in and of itself has brought me conversions, both from my personal account or people going to the business TikTok and then putting in inquiries. So it's been really, really cool to see.
Wow. So you're going just like TikTok, just about whatever about your Persian background, and then that went as they started to check you out, people saw you had a business, and that is what got you traction.
Yep, essentially. I actually just had a call with someone right before you who had found me through TikTok. He's Persian as well, has a business he's growing, wants to work with another Persian, and now we're connected and we're about to sign a contract this week.
Wow, that is very, very valuable information that you just gave. It is for me too. I mean, I'm trying to mess around on social media in about the last 30, 40 days. So I hope our audience heard that. That was some excellent advice on TikTok. You don't have to be so focused on the business part. It's more about connection and connecting with people. And I don't know, what do you think? It seems like people are starting to the connection thing is really what starts to drive online business. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. I think the rise of influencers and the focus around community building is what has driven this. I'm actually telling a lot of my clients and a lot of my potentials now that your personal branding is actually going to push you a lot further than your business branding is, because now people want to hear from people. They want to feel validated from someone that they trust rather than a business telling them, buy my products, buy my services. And so in the 4 years that we've had our agency, we've been very active on social media. Our TikTok has over 14,000 followers. Our Instagram is about to hit 10,000 followers. Our LinkedIn has thousands of followers. Our Twitter is growing. All of our platforms have a presence. And in all of that time that we've been out there, we've done Google ads, we've run campaigns, we brought in clients through that. Nothing has driven more clientele and potential business than the personal branding I have put forth in the past year. So I very much back the personal branding aspect of businesses.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. That was a really good piece of information. All right, switching gears a little bit, what are some other successful people in marketing like yourself that you'd like to acknowledge that should be on the podcast?
Yeah, definitely. There's one guy I'd really like to call out that I love working with. I've been on his podcast previously. He focuses very heavily on supporting agencies in building their operations. His name is Jordan Ross, and his agency is called 8-Figure Agency, 8F. They're great. They have a lot of strategies based on your agency, based on what you're looking to do. They've had some incredible success adding incredible revenue for different businesses. And, they're just so great with attention to detail and really working with you until you reach your goals or until you're satisfied. And it's been an incredible experience. I've known him for almost 2 years and we've become friends out of this. And it's just a great resource to have and be connected with more people like him.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. We'll definitely be trying to connect with him. And then for one final question for fun, tell me the oldest technology you remember using.
So I actually remember a good amount. I was born in 1997, and I feel like most people would be like, oh, you're kind of at the end, you're not really a 90s baby, but I feel committed to being a 90s baby. A Tamagotchi is what I would say. Those things were killers. Like the effort to keep one of those alive in technology was insane. And I know that's not, there was no social at that time, but the Tamagotchi itself felt like a full-time job. And I have a dog, and my dog is easier than the Tamagotchi was. So it's a very interesting.
You have to explain to us old people what Tamagotchi is, because I don't know what that is.
So it's like a little, it's like this big, and it has a screen on it, and it's almost like I I forgot if it's an animal or something, but it's like something that you're supposed to keep alive, almost like a pet. But it's so needy. It needs, the attention, feeding time, whatever it might be. And if you're not on top of it daily, multiple times a day, it can die. Like that's part of the way that the system is built. So it's like very high. I don't know if it can actually die, but it's very high stress. And it's just this little thing. It could be on a keychain. You could have it attached to your keys, but it took up a lot of space in my life.
Yeah, so they had versions of that when I, because I'm a little bit older than you, and so they had, when I was a kid, they had a version. It was a virtual pet, and then for those people that are even older than that, there was at one point they would actually sell pet rocks, and the entrepreneur who sold pet rocks, they'd send you a rock, it was your pet rock. He made millions of dollars selling pet rocks for about a year or two.
That's
So
crazy. I think
that,
now they're doing that with potatoes.
with potatoes,
I've
that's
seen that
right, they are
online.
doing that.
Yes. Yes. It's a funny concept, but people buy it. So that's cool. You do the right marketing, you show the right, like, you get the right community behind it, anyone will buy it, right?
Yeah, with the right marketing, you can sell almost any product. It's the truth. It's the truth.
Pretty much. Placement. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Yasmin, we keep our podcast short. Thank you so much for being on today. Everybody, we stream these episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 something on social media. You can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., the different social media profiles. If you would, please smash the like button, share it, do it something to help us with the algorithm. We'd like to get our show out to more people. If you're not on our email list and you want to be on the email list, and when a new podcast comes out, you can email me directly, Jared at hiveleadmarketing.com. Hive, such as a beehive, hiveleadmarketing.com. You can just email me. We'll add you to the list. And this has been an excellent podcast. Thank you so much once again, Yasmin, for being on.
Thank you so much for having me, Jared.